My parents emigrated to the United States in the 50s. Both of them were in a concentration camp in Germany. My relationship with my father was always challenging. You look for your father to be a guide in a lot of ways, and he was not available to me in that manner. One of the things that was a big challenge for me in my entire lifetime was he never told me he loved me. In my mid-20s, my dad passed away. All the things that I never said to him, I just had so much regret over the fact that there was never going to be an opportunity to reconcile that relationship. It was gone. The priest at my father's funeral asked me what kind of rate he could get on a $250,000 CD he had rolling over. Of all the times and all the places to ask someone that kind of a question, that was the last straw for anything to do with religion or spiritual anything. I wanted nothing to do with any of them ever again. My relationship with my wife was never great. After my father passed away, things got worse. I have a very vivid recollection. It's probably among the worst memories I have in my life of telling my girls that I was leaving and walking out the door, and my 5-year-old clinging to my leg and begging me not to go. I left and we got divorced. The next year I was about as adrift as you can get adrift. A woman that I had gotten to know named Peggy, she encouraged me to go to church. I liked her, she was pretty, and I thought, okay, if I humor her, maybe she'll go out with me. So, fine, I'll go. I left there thinking, wow, that's church? That can be what church is? And so I kept going. About a year later, I had been dating Peggy, but I was pushing her to a level of intimacy with which she was not comfortable and wasn't going to go, and that's not what she wanted. And so she ended it. It's November 23rd, 1996, and I'm staring at a blank wall. I almost felt like I was listening to an argument in my head, and it was essentially how I was useless. I had ruined everything, and there was no point in me living anymore. I really don't know how that night might have played out if that had kept going. I hear this rustle of paper in the other room, and I see an envelope that was shoved under my door. So I pick up the envelope and I open it, and it is a letter from Peggy. And she is explaining to me that she forgives me, and she is praying for me, and she loved me. All of a sudden a light bulb goes off, and I'm starting to connect what Christ did for me with what she just modeled for me. I remember thinking and praying to God, I'm like, but I'm a disaster. I didn't deserve to be forgiven. And he said, I know what you are, and I know what you've done, and it's okay. I had lost everything, and I had wrecked my life, and I just didn't know what to do. And I think that's the point where God can do the most good with you, when you give up trying to fix it yourself. I asked Christ to be my Savior that night. That was the beginning of a very different part of my life. It was about a month and a half later that I saw Peggy again. Like a good movie, I got the girl. My relationship with my daughters changed so dramatically. It's been 20 years. God has, in my case, had a lot of things to fix. For almost my entire life, I never understood love. I never understood joy. And He's given me that. He's given me that because I could let go of the junk that I was carrying around behind me. And I will always be so grateful for that. My name is Gedzyk, and this is my story, and it's also another one of his.